So, Charlie Munger snaked us. In school, we are taught to work on assignments and homeworks on our own. In university, we are even penalized for plagiarizing, or essentially copying other people's research or findings. However, in real life, this is far from the truth, especially in investing. Hence, the idea of being a shameless cloner was born. So that said, cloners in today's environment are having a bad time. I wanted to share a very quick analogy before we go into today's video proper. So the analogy is to like that smash button and let's see if we can hit 10 likes today. Now, here comes the real analogy. Investing in the stock market is like taking an exam. So I know many of you have already graduated out of taking exams, and some even have PTSD when thinking about the good old days. But just stay with me here for a short while. So the difference here is, in this particular exam hall, nobody dictates which test you should study for and how many papers you should actually take. No mandatory science or math subject that you hate, no time limit to the test, and most importantly, you can choose not to take any exams at all, and the doors to the exam hall are always open whenever you are ready. So like all things in life, there are pros and cons to every action, and not taking any exam at all will have its relevant downside. So given the general age distribution of my audience, where most of you are in your late 20s to early 40s, I believe you have crossed paths with enough people in your lives to have a decent enough sample size to really understand the definition of intelligence and brilliance. So we all have that one particular friend that is incredibly talented in that particular subject, be it chemistry, computing, or criminology. Life is unfair. Some people are just born smarter than others. So this term gets thrown around a lot. It's called aptitude. However, I do believe that every one of us here on earth has a natural affinity towards a certain skill set or industry, and it's our job to find that inclination. So we might not be the top 1% in our naturally affiliated industry, but oftentimes than not, we just need an edge over others, and with enough time, effort, and commitment, we can easily be the top 20%. And that's the importance of building and also harnessing your circle of competence. Now comes the exciting topic with regards to cloning. Let's assume that I have a friend called Jack, and we shall give him a nickname, titling Jack XBeast. So he's incredibly talented with advanced mathematics. And my poor ass over here don't even understand why and how we can even square root -1 and the need for complex numbers. Math is already so complex. Why do we have to further complicate things? Anyway, my friend here, Mr. Jack XBeast, open sources his research, his notes, and his writings to the public, and any Tom, Dick, and Harry can bring his notes into the exam hall. So everyone thinks that after harnessing the notes produced by Jack, like a Bible, can give them a surefire way of acing the exam. But clearly, we all know that it doesn't work that way, both in the concept of exams and the concept of investing. And that's the issue with cloning. So we can have access to all the information in the world, even up until the research done by different hedge fund managers and the different theses. But conviction is still personal, and without understanding the key underlying principle and thesis will do you more harm than good when taking that particular exam. So in this exam context, I think everyone will just shrug it off saying that duh, but why does the same situation repeat itself again and again? I don't know. Probably because of human nature. So due to the recent market meltdown, many securities were being punished by a large extent, and I took some time to reflect what has transpired thus far and some lessons and thoughts that I've distilled thus far. So it was really a wide-ranging number of investing personalities, from Charlie Munger with his Alibaba bet, and he subsequently reduced it by half, to Bill Ackman on his Netflix bet where he sold everything, and Sequoia Capital cutting their Prosus/Tencent exposure, and Li Lu, who runs Himalayan Capital and his Facebook exposure before the horrendous fall. So I fundamentally believe that there was an incredible amount of investors that followed them into the trade just because I like Munger, and because he likes the stock, I like the stock too. So the proliferation of such thinking and actions are further exacerbated with the rise of social media. So you no longer need to be any sort of famous investing personalities managing billions of dollars anymore. So as long as you have a following on any social media platform, I believe voices of such creators are as impactful, if not much more impactful, because they are more quote-unquote relatable. So the following will be my quick take on cloning. Number 1, I understand the initial intentions of cloning, but borrowed conviction don't last. In the stock market, there are tens of thousands of securities out there. Do you really believe that every single one of them will be the next Amazon or the next Apple? How many Apples and Amazons can we have in today's world? So the story for many of such securities is definitely compelling on how XXX company is disrupting this industry and that industry, but there are also many companies that will become the next Kodak, the next Nokia, or the next WeWork. Cloning super investors can be deemed as a shortcut for screening, but it cannot be your entire thesis. So a model proposed by Munger, which I personally enjoy, is that after settling on a certain company, try to seek out the opinions of brilliant people on the other side of the trade, and preferably someone you respect, and try to reconcile your views with his, and why do you think you should be right. Number 2, humans are fallible. So despite the meteoric successes they had prior to them becoming famous, it doesn't shield them from being wrong in their subsequent bet. Therefore, there is no need to idolize people like Buffett or even Munger because they too are humans. So when we confer people like them statuses of gods, some people might really fall into the impression that they are really infallible and can never be wrong, which is a very dangerous situation to be in. Number 3, always be prepared for plan B. Investing itself is a very complicated endeavor. In every news cycle, there are new developments and different implications across the globe. You have to be adaptive and decisive enough to make decisions based on newly presented information. That said though, patience is also a virtue that is underappreciated in today's world. Hence, in investing, there are heaps of contradictory statements and oxymoronic expressions. At the end of the day, since you are the steward of allocating your own capital and your own hard-earned money, you just have to answer to one person, and that one person is yourself. So to conclude this video, I just wanted to outline my personal observation, especially in the social media space. The amount of double standards are simply incorrigible. I honestly don't understand the need to bash on other people's investment picks or other people's investment style. So to refer you to point number 2, you, yes, I'm talking about you are not infallible as well. When talking about other people's investment, when they fall 50 or 60%, see, I told you, that's what happens when the hype wears off. When your own investment falls by 60%, how can the market be that stupid? Don't worry, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So when it comes to your own pick, you say that you have a 5 to 10 year of time horizon and you can wait it out. And on what account do you think that other people don't have that same ability to wait it out? So stop being so obsessed with stroking your own ego and always trying to prove that you are right. So the world is already messy and complicated enough, and you don't need to add to that mess and add to that noise by trying to bring down other people and shitting on others. So just focus on what you're doing, do it right for the people following you. Peace. I'll see you in the next video, but more importantly, I will see you on the moon. Goodbye!